Good morning, children. Welcome to social class. This is Venkat, and you know that I'm dealing social. First of all, we will revise what we learned in the previous classes. In the previous class, first we learned about our Earth. So there we learned that what are the factors that you can find in the region of Earth, that is rotation, revolution, internal structure of the Earth, and everything we learned in the first lesson, including the time zones also. And the second lesson we learned about the natural realms, that is four natural realms, that is lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, and also the biosphere. Then come to that here. What is meant by lithosphere? Already that last lesson explained about lithosphere. Lithosphere is a word taken from litho and sphaera. Litho means rock, sphaera means ball. So lithosphere means the rock portion found on the earth is called as lithosphere. We learned in the second lesson what is lithosphere, how the rocks are going to get the cracks due to the weather, these are all the things. And we also know that internal and external changes on the earth. Come to that second, that today we are going to be learn about hydrosphere. What we are going to be learn today? Hydrosphere. So you should be know that meaning of hydrosphere. Hydrosphere is a word taken from the Greek word hydra and sphaera. What is that? Hydrosphere is a word taken from the two Greek words hydra and sphaera. Hydra means ball, sphaera means hydra means water, sphaera means ball. It means the water content on the land is called as hydrosphere. So we know that the water found on the earth in the form of salt or else in the form of fresh water. But the fresh water only useful for drinking, not for the salt water. We know that where the salt water found and where the fresh water forms. In this lesson, we are going to be learn that what are the changes that occurs on the earth based upon the water. These are all the things. Imagine that it has been raining on thousands of years onwards on the earth. We know that thousands of years onwards the rains are coming. So where this water is going? So where this water is going? Is the water is depositing in the oceans, or is the water can travel to the seas, or is the water is joined in the region of rivers? So thousands of years onwards the rain coming and water is flows on the earth. And why the oceans are not dry up? That's one of the point. So the question is, thousands of years onwards the rain is coming, and also that why the seas and also the oceans never dry up, and is that less than 1% of water that is using by the people? Is that water means 1% of water is a fresh water? Is that water meets the necessities of the people? So if you want to know these all the things, we have to know that a topic name is called as hydrological cycle. So one more time, thousands of years onwards the rains are coming, and why the oceans and the seas are never dry up, and 1% of water is a fresh water. Is that water meets the challenge, meets the necessities of the people? But if you want to know these all the things, we have to know about hydrological cycle. So by using this hydrological cycle, you can understand that why oceans never dry up, and why the thousands of years onwards the rain is coming, and also that how much water found on the earth, the fresh water and also the salt water. Then come to that hydrological cycle. So hydrological cycle, before of knowing the hydrological cycle, we should know that water is a renewable source. Alright, renewable energy. There are two types of energies. One is called renewable energy and one is called as non-renewable energy. So what is meant by renewable and what is meant by non-renewable? Renewable means we can use and also we can reuse. Use and reuse. Reuse is called as renewable energy. Take an example, trees. Once if you cut the tree, again after a few days, again the trees can develop the stems, these all the things. So renewable means we can use that energy more than one time. But you can say that use and reuse, you can say that renewable energy. Then come to that non-renewable energy. So non-renewable energy means then we cannot reuse. Once if you use, then the matter is over. We cannot reuse. Take an example, coal, we can use the coal, and the second time we cannot use the coal. And also that petroleum, diesel, these all are called as non-renewable resources. It means these are the matter others called as minerals. We cannot use the reuse. That's one of the points. So first one, you should know that in the hydrological cycle, water is a renewable energy. You understand that what is meant by renewable? Renewable means we can use and again we can reuse. That you can say that renewable energy. Non-renewable means that we cannot reuse is called as non-renewable energies. Like a petroleum, diesel, these all called as non-renewable energies. Even the rock also called as non-renewable. Renewable means like a water, these all come to that renewable energies. What is meant by hydrological cycle? Hydrological cycle means the water travels towards to the land to sea. From thousands of years onwards, the water is traveling from the land to sea and also the sea to land in the form of either in the form of solid or either in the form of gaseous also, or else in the form of vapor. So water is always travels from one place to other place through the form of gas or a solid or in the form of vapor also. So it can be hydrological cycle can be explained in the simple way that you can see that rainfall, RF in the sense of rainfall, and I'll write a formula. So hydrological cycles sometimes we can express in the form of RF. RF means rainfall, RO means runoff, plus equal to evapotranspiration or evapotranspiration. So RF is equal to runoff is equal to, or else called as not a, is equal to, you can say that plus evapotranspiration. So rainfall is equal to runoff plus evapotranspiration is called as hydrological cycle. It's a simple formula. So one more time I will revise. We have this lot of things. This rain is coming thousands of years onwards, and also that where this water is going, why the continents never dries up, and how much percentage of water is using for drinking purpose, For if you want to know these all the things, we should be know about hydrological cycle. The hydrological cycle can be expressed. Before of knowing the hydrological cycle, we should be know that what is the greatness of water. The water can be using as a renewable source. Renewable means we can use also. So other also we have the non-renewable, but water is the greatness of renewable energy. And also that water is always going from land to sea, and also that sea to land in the form of gas, and also the solid or form of the vapor. And also that this hydrological cycle can be expressed in the formula of rainfall is equal to runoff plus evapotranspiration. And this hydrological cycle is having that 6 types: evaporation, transportation, evaporation, transportation, condensation, precipitation, runoff, and groundwater. So there are 6 stages of hydrological cycle, or is called as water cycle. So this water cycle is doing from the billions of years onwards. So billions of years onwards, this process is going on. It means that water is converting into the vapor or solid or other vapor solid in the liquid form. It is traveling from the oceans to land, the land to sea. This is the one which is happening from the millions of, or is called as billions of years onwards. This water cycle can be divided into 6 stages. First stage is called as evaporation. Second is called as transportation. Third one is calling as condensation. The fourth one is precipitation, and the fifth one is runoff. The last one is groundwater. So these are the 6 stages of hydrological cycle. First, I will explain what is meant by evaporation. So what is meant by evaporation? Water transformed. So take an example. This is called as a land, and here we have the sun, and we know that due to the heat, this is called as sun rays. The sun rays produce the energy that you can say that solar energy. We also know that what is meant by solar radiation, insolation, all the things. So because of the sun rays, the land which is having that water in the form of oceans, or is rivers, lakes, the ponds, these are all the things. So even we can find the water in the form of human bodies, even the trees, even in the body of animals also. See that first, due to the heat of the sun, the water that can found on the land in the form of oceans, rivers, the lakes, ponds, even that you can find in the warm-blooded animals like animals, and also the humans, even in the trees also. So because of this heat, the water transferred, and it is converting into the vapor. So due to the sun heat, the water can found on the land. This can be transferred into the form of vapor, and that is called as evaporation. So water transformed from the earth to atmosphere is called as evaporation. So if there is a more sunlight, more evaporation. If there is a less sunlight, less evaporation. So one more time, we'll see that what is meant by evaporation. Evaporation simple definition was water transfer from earth to atmosphere is called as evaporation. Water transferred from earth to atmosphere is called as evaporation. And what will happen that because of sunlight is called as sun's energy, this water is changed into the vapor, and this vapor is joining into the atmosphere. So that is calling as evaporation. Simple meaning is evaporation means converting water into the vapor is called as evaporation. So there are sometimes due to the heatness, the trees also lost that water content, that is called as transpiration. So this together is called as evapotranspiration. What is calling as evapotranspiration. So that is one of the points. So first one you understand that. Next one is transportation means the movement of water through the atmosphere, especially from the oceans to land. So see that before water converted into the vapor and it was joining into the atmosphere. So transportation means the movement of water from the oceans to land, because we know that completely maximum percentage of the earth covers with the water, and that water can found in the form of oceans or else in the region of seas. So maximum evaporation can takes in the region of oceans only. So the movement of water from the oceans to land in the form of clouds is called as transportation. So the formation of clouds is called as transportation. Clear? So transportation means the movement of water from the oceans to the land is called as transportation. It is also called as the formation of clouds, and these are the clouds are moving from one area to other area. You see that before of rain, the clouds are moving from, we are always observing on the land by staying on the land. If you watch towards to the sky, we understand that there are some of the clouds are moving. Similarly, the movement of the clouds is also called as transportation. The maximum the clouds moving from the oceans towards to the land. So transportation means movement of the water from the oceans to the land in the form of clouds is called as transportation. So the transportation maximum it takes in the place of oceans and also in the region of seas. Next one is condensation. So this transported water converted into tiny droplets. So before we learned that formation of clouds, and now that is a form of transportation. So the transported water, it means the water which can have by the clouds converted, that water is converted into the droplets. The droplets of water is called as condensation. So converted means the transported water converted into the tiny droplets are called as condensation. The next one is called as precipitation. So now this is called as clouds, and the clouds was converted into the droplets. Each cloud is having that thousands of millions of droplets, and these are the droplets when they are going to be appear with the cool air. When this cool air is going to be reached to the saturated points, some of the points, at the time the cloud is unable to control or hold the droplets. And take an example, I have that 10 kilos of rice on my hand. I can hold the 10 kilos of rice, and someone kept again 10 kgs, that you can say the 20 kgs. I can hold somewhat with a very high pressure, and someone kept that more than 30 kgs. So when that weight is going to be increased on my hands, I cannot hold. Similarly here also, the clouds can hold that droplets of water for some time. When the cool air is going to be appears, because of the cool air, then it is reached to the saturated points, and because of that factor, the first primary activity in the atmosphere, these clouds can drop the water droplets. Then can say that water from the atmosphere is coming towards the land in the form of rain. So that is comes in the form of water or snow or hail. So one more time, precipitation, it means the primary mechanism of atmosphere is called as precipitation. Simple meaning, the primary mechanism of atmosphere is called as precipitation. Here what is primary mechanism? So the clouds are having with the tiny droplets of water, that is in the form of condensation, and these tiny droplets that cannot be held for long time. When the cool air is going to be appears, because of the cool air, and this of the clouds cannot be bear for long time, and after some saturated point, this can be leave the water. So the water can come from the atmosphere towards the land in the form of rain, or else in the form of hails, or else called as snow falling also. So the next one you can say that runoff. The runoff and also the groundwater. The water, it was found on the land. Some of the water can be moved like this and can be joints in, it can be formed in the form of river or joints in the lakes or ponds. So all low-lying areas is going to fill it. Later, this water is going to join in the region of oceans. So runoff means movement of water from one place to another place is called as runoff. Then groundwater means before of going to the other side, some of the water is percolates. Percolates means going inside of the air. So the going inside of water, you can say the percolates, and this percolation water can increase to the groundwater, and here in the ground also, this water can travel through the weaker zones. How the water is travel on the surface with a very fast, but that much of fast cannot found in the region of groundwater. The movement of water in the ground is a very slow movement. So that you can say the groundwater. So you learn that 6 stages of hydrological cycle. The first stage of hydrological cycle is called as evaporation. The second one is called as transportation. Then third one is called as condensation. The fourth one is runoff. The fifth one is groundwater. Now see that other topic is called as water sources. What is the other topic? Water source. If you observe the water source, you see the water source, completely imagine we have the two. One is called salt water, one is called fresh water. So water source is our resource, is our topic. In the water source, there are two types of water. One is called as salt water, one is called as fresh water. The salt water can found in the form of oceans. We have the 7 oceans. In all the 7 oceans, we have the salt water. Fresh water can found in the form of ice or in the groundwater, otherwise in the lakes, and also in the rivers we have the fresh water. If you observe the salt water, complete on the globe it is 97.2169%. So in the globe, 97.2169% of the land covers with the salt water, and this complete salt water can found in the continents only. See the next one, you can say that fresh water, 69.56% that you can found in the form of ice. So in the balance, that you can say that so out of 97.2169% that you can find only in the oceans, balance in the fresh water, that is 2.7831% is called as balance. That's a fresh water. In the fresh water, 69.56% that you can find in the ice, in the form of ice. And 30.1% that you can find in the groundwater. Only 0.34% that you can find in the form of rivers, all the things. So one more time, you try to understand that water sources. We have 2 types of water. One is salt water that you can find in the oceans. Fresh water that you can find in the ice, or else in the form of rivers, or else in the groundwater. If you observe the fresh water and also the salt water, complete the globe, which covers that 97.2169% of water can found only in the oceans, that in the form of salt. So maximum water is sided. Then come to the balanced fresh water, that is only 2.783% only fresh water. In this 2.78% also, maximum water can found in the form of ice, either in the Arctic region, or else in the region of Himalayas, or else in other countries also we have that some mountains, there's ice mountains there also. It means 69.56% can found only in the form of ice. And come to that next, 30.1% of water also can found in the groundwater only. We know that we are the people, we are using the groundwater for the purpose of bathing, cleaning, these all the things. Even that some of the people can be drink the groundwater also. And 0.34% only can found on the surface, either in the lakes or else in the rivers, in some place of the ponds also. That is one of the point. Next come to that oceans. We know that once upon a time all oceans are together It's called as Pantalsa, the word which we learned in the first lesson. So Pantalsa means the whole world water portion and the oceans is called as Pantalsa. We have the Pangaea and Pangaea and also the Pantalsa. Pangaea means the land portion, Pantalsa means water portion on the land. Come to that here, we present after that we have the continental drift theory. So from one area to other area, these all are the continents are moved, and because of the continental drift theory, otherwise called as tectonic theory, because of that process we have that oceans. There are 5 oceans we have that. So before of knowing the oceans, we should be know that what is the difference between the sea and also the oceans. Sea and also the oceans. Sea is compared with the oceans small in size, and the sea and also the oceans, they have that salt water. And oceans means the oceans is a place that extension of water which separates that one continent to other continent. So extension of water, it separates that one continent to other continent is called as oceans. You can say that large extension of water body which separates that one continent to other continent, that is oceans. Sea means, sea is a extension of water body, but it cannot divide the continent. Maybe that can be separate between one country to other country only. That you can say that seas. See that what is that oceans. First we'll go with the begin size. Pacific Oceans, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Antarctic Ocean, and also the Arctic Ocean, the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Indian, the Antarctic, the Arctic. The Antarctic Ocean is also called as Southern Ocean. So what is this? So here you can say that the geographers divided that oceans into the 5, and based upon the availability of nature and also called as natural factors. So we are seeing that there are 5 different oceans, and first come with the begin size. Pacific is a biggest ocean, and next Atlantic, the Indian, the Antarctic, and also the Arctic Ocean. If you see that Pacific Ocean, this Pacific Ocean divides that between America to other continent like Australia, New Zealand, also even that some parts of Africa. Next Atlantic Ocean, which divides that American continent versus Europe and also the Africa. The Indian Ocean divides that between Africa and also that Australia. The Antarctic, we know that almost all the continents, the southern continents like Australia, Asia, next come to that Africa, and South American countries is a part of Antarctica. Arctic region comes in the northern side. How the Antarctic was there. Similarly, the northern regions of North America, Europe, and Asia is called as Arctic region. So this is in your one of the small topic, and balance I will explain in the next, that is in the part 2. So before of that, what we learned today I will revise once. So we know that why the rains are coming, and where this water is going from the billions of years onwards, why the oceans and are not dry up, And also come to that, we also learned that hydrological cycle, that is 6 stages of hydrological cycle: evaporation, transportation, condensation, runoff, and also groundwater. And next we learn that ocean source, it means how much percentage of water that area is occupies. And also next we learn that oceans and who are the geographers divided the oceans, and what basis they divided. These are all the things we learn in this lesson. So we meet you the balance in the other class. Thank you.